In this next article from American Military News, Xi Jinping, aka Xinnie the Pooh, because he looks almost just like Winnie the Pooh, orders China's military to be ready for war at any time. Woo! What is going on over here? On Monday, Xinnie the Pooh ordered China's military to mobilize in 2021 for full combat readiness, stressing the need to be ready for war at any time. So this is probably over Taiwan. I think I read another article that they're planning to invade Taiwan. A readout of Xinnie's order posted on China's Central Military Command website urged the People's Liberation Army and People's Armed Police Force to discuss on preparing for combat. South China Morning Post reported the 2021 mobilization order is departure from last year's mobilization order, in which Xinnie instructed China's armed forces to manage crises and deter war. Ooh. Boomer. The CMC readout of the 2020 mobilization order states training under real combat conditions will be deepened and all military training should be war-centered and conducive to improving combat effectiveness, and the research on warfare and combat-related issues should be enhanced, end quote. Because they're trying to be the world's #1 superpower. In order to do that, they need to exercise military force, because elsewise it'll be like getting into a land war in China or in Asia. It's like sweeping dirt around on the forest floor to try to control it. The order also asked China's armed forces to train for confrontation under real-world scenarios to, quote, hone the troops in front line of military struggle and promote the in-depth combination and integration of military training and operations, ensuring combat readiness at all times and operational capability at all times, end quote. The order does not specify the front-line military struggle Chinese troops faced. While China is not formally in a state of war or armed conflict with other nations, Chinese troops were involved in a brawl with Indian troops along a disputed region in 2020. The fighting resulted in the deaths of 20 Indian troops and undisclosed number of Chinese casualties. Xi's new mobilization order further emphasizes the need for joint training between different military commands, stressing that the military should highlight multi-domain joint training involving multiple services and arms and military civil joint training, and develop a joint training system with the Chinese military's characteristics. 2021 mobilization effort comes as China increasingly prepared to control the contested South China Sea regions. Despite the U.S. rejecting China's territorial claims in the region, China has also alluded to conflict with the United States, in one instance releasing a military recruitment ad depicting Chinese bombers dropping bombs on the U.S. territory of Guam. Wow, because Guam is such a military threat to them. Xinnie the Pooh has directed Chinese military to become a modern fighting force because they are currently a joke. A September Pentagon report said China is working to modernize its pathetic military theories by 2035 to fully transport the Chinese Nazi Party military units into quote-unquote world-class forces by 2049, because it's going to take them that long. Increasing joint operations between Chinese military commands would only serve to strain its forces for modern military fights across different domains. I didn't mean to say only serves. Take that only out of there. The new order calls for China's armed forces to increasingly integrate new technology that they're stealing from the United States because they can't build it themselves because they're pathetic communists. Quote, the idea of science and technology being a core combat capability should be considered, and training with new armaments and new forces in new domains be strengthened and incorporated in trainings and operational systems. Their sentences are very long. Huh. Did you notice how long their sentences are? Man, they're like, if I didn't have such good lungs from playing trumpet, man, I'd have had to take 2 breaths in those sentences. The armaments and new forces in new domains be strengthened and incorporated in training and operational systems, the readout states. Xi's order concludes by calling on Chinese Nazi Party troops to carry forward the fighting spirit of brutal, savage National Socialists who are basically communists who have money. They carry forward the genocidal spirit of fearlessness to hardships and death, strengthening their will to commit genocide against others, improve their skills, accomplish the mission and tasks entrusted by the Chinese Nazi Party and the people in the New World Order. Yeah, these Chinese Nazi people are pretty sketchy. They say they're communists. They're like, no, we're the Chinese Communist Party. If you want to sell in China, you're going to have to bribe the Chinese Nazi Party boss. So supposedly they're communists, but they have money. And this is not possible. They obviously were not the right people to help out. People helping out China are just trying to make money over there. There are some people that think they're, by bringing them out of poverty, that it was going to magically fix everything. But what they didn't realize is that it was just going to make them transition from communism to National Socialism. They got millions of Uyghurs in the concentration re-education camps. They do public executions all the time. They have hundreds of millions of impoverished Chinese out in the country they use for slave labor, along with the Muslims in the concentration re-education forced labor camps. They've got a ruling class of Chinese Nazi Party officials who own private property all around the world. They're ultra rich. They're communist, yet they own huge skyscrapers in capitalist countries. So obviously this doesn't sound right. Obviously, you can't have money in communism. You cannot have businesses that you're selling in capitalist countries under communism. You can only do that if you're a National Socialist, because National Socialism is where it's like a more evolved version of communism, quote unquote, where you can have private property, you can have money, but the state owns the businesses, and then they put your enemies in concentration camps. That would be the tenets of National Socialism, is that they compete to see which country and ethno-nationalism and what ethnicity, what nation would be the world's number one superpower. That's exactly what China's doing. They're trying to be the world's number one superpower. So hey, if you like this content, don't forget to smash that like button down below. If you want to help spread this message, you got something out of this, consider sharing this video on social media. Definitely ring that bell for notifications when I go live. Stick around. This live stream's not over. We've got some more stories left to come. Let's see what we got. Shoot. Well, yeah, never mind. Sorry, I messed up. I think I was supposed to put that next story with this video, but I messed up the order of the links. Sorry about that.